how to become a real estate agent using video marketing. I'm gonna give you the lowdown on how I went from almost quitting real estate as a broke, rundown, tired agent to now running a team that does over 50 million a year. Hi, Steve Thomas here with Video Marketing Coach. So, are you thinking about getting into real estate? Have you been watching $1 Million Listing and all of these social media TVs shows about real estate, and you see the commissions they make and you think, wow, this looks like it could be fun or easy? Well, let me give you the little lowdown on my beginnings to how I got into real estate, because some of the lessons that I will hopefully share with you now will teach you some lessons and you won't make the same mistakes that I made. I will also share with you what I'm doing now that I didn't do at the very beginning. So, at the very beginning, when I decided to get my real estate license, I had another job, and I had a very, very good job. It was a six-figure a year job, and I was pretty happy. But I decided that I wanted to do something else. I wanted another challenge, and real estate was always something that I was interested in. Like, we grew up actually very poor, and we didn't have a lot of money at home, and our house was not the nicest house in the street, but I was always fascinated with how other people lived and how other people had big houses and why did some people have small houses, you know, as a young kid. And then this interest kind of, grew with me. And as I got older and I became more proficient in sales, I realized, well, I was selling fine art at the time. I used to sell Picassos and Rembrandts and Salvador Dali's and lots of other cool artwork. But I thought, well, if I'm going to be selling anything, I may as well sell the most expensive thing that most people want to own, right? And what's that, right? It's not a Lamborghini, it's a house, right? Everybody wants to own a home. Like, that's really the American dream, right? So I decided that I was going to get my real estate license. So I went to real estate school. You can find loads of real estate schools online. You can probably just Google your local area. There'll be plenty of real estate schools. Some brokerages even offer them as well. So I went to real estate school. I did my course in the classroom, because you can do it, you used to be able to do it online or in a classroom. I think you can still do it like that. I personally learn better in a classroom setting. So I did mine in class, and I passed my real estate license. The day that I passed my real estate license, I quit my job. Now, this is how naive I was, you guys. I did not do any research into how real estate agents make money. I just figured that they help people buy and sell houses, right? Which is the end result, and that's how you ultimately make money. So I needed to figure out how to find people that wanted me to help them buy or sell real estate. And that was a very rude awakening, because when I got my license and I went to the office, I was like, hey, I'm excited, like, I got my license, it's ready, who can I help? And they were like, well, what do you mean, who can you help? I was imagining there was gonna be a book of business for people that wanted some help from a real estate agent to help them buy or sell real estate. Now, some of you might be watching this video laughing, because hopefully you're a lot more prepared than I was, but I'm just sharing my experience with you because there's probably other people that are just like me. So I don't want you to make this mistake and quit your job and get into real estate without figuring out how you generate business. And this is going to be the fundamental aspect to whether you sink or you swim. Now, when I started learning that very quickly, that I had to generate my own business, I thought, well, let me figure out who's the top producing guy or girl in our office, and I'll see what they do. I'll learn from them. So there was a guy in our office, and every single day he was the cold calling. And I used to cold call back in college. I sold gas and electricity over the phone and stuff. I did it before, but it was a means to an end at that time. I didn't want to be doing that as a career, quite honestly. But I thought, well, if this is what I've got to do, well, this is what I've got to do. So I started listening to this guy cold calling, and he was cold calling expireds, which if you don't know what an expired is, it's someone that's put their house on the market and it's not being able to sell, and then the listing contract with the brokerage has expired, and then every other agent in the valley or in town knows that this is expired, and then they call the seller or contact them trying to see if they can get that listing. That is very, very competitive. Now, not only have you got people shouting at you and telling you to F off and stuff because they've had 35 other people calling them within the last 10 minutes, but your skill set in being able to have conversations, to be able to, in asking great questions, it really needs to be at a very high level to be able to compete against those guys, like the guy in my office that does this religiously every single day and has done it religiously every single day for 10 years, right? Like this is what you're up against, right? You should realize what your competition is so that you're not disheartened when you go into it. So he was calling expireds. He was also calling for sale by owners and doing other things that we call circle prospecting. And I did this for, I don't know how long, maybe a year. And I tell you, it was probably the most depressing year of my life because I have ADD and I find it very difficult to stay still and sit in one place for too long, let alone calling someone in a cubicle, for 3 hours every day, like doing the same thing. That was just not for me. So I started thinking, well, what other ways are there that real estate agents are generating business? Because I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable for me. Cold calling just wasn't going to cut the mustard. So then I started seeing other agents are having some luck at running Facebook ads. Some are running Instagram ads. Some are doing shorts. Some are, running Google ads. People have got billboards. And then when you look at it, there's thousands of ways, right? Hundreds of ways that people are generating business. Now, all of them work. I'm not saying one, is necessarily better than the other. You have to find what, works for you. But what ended up happening for me was actually very, very blessed and fortunate, because when I very first got my real estate license, I don't even know how this happened, but what I did is I took a video of, I walked around a new construction home in Las Vegas, $1 million house, and I just did a tour of it, but I didn't put any effort into it. When I say I didn't put any effort into it, I didn't introduce myself, I didn't tell them the size, the price, nothing. I just walked around the house without any music on. I mean, bare bones, you guys, and I uploaded it on YouTube. Don't ask me why, I don't even know why I did it, but I did. And then a few years later, when my wife saw that I was kind of getting jaded with throwing dirt at a wall and seeing what sticks in terms of my marketing strategy, I was doing a little bit of everything. She said, well, maybe you should look at YouTube. That video that you did a few years earlier has got 1,000 views. And then I was like, what, 1,000 views? And then I looked at it and it did. And then a light bulb moment went off in my head where I was like, I wonder if I just put in a little bit of effort, what could happen? So then I started researching real estate agents that have YouTube channels. And I started seeing some of the sales that some of them were having, and I was thinking, wow, there must be something in this. And then we totally pivoted our whole strategy, our whole business model, and we went 100% all in on YouTube videos. We started creating content. After about 3 months, the phone started ringing. After 6 months, we were getting busy. After 12 months, our life looked completely and utterly different. Now, all we do primarily is create content, and people contact us. And this is what I like to look at is like inbound marketing almost, in that people are now, they're calling us. I'm not calling them. And that's the way I like to do business, is with people that want me to help them sell or buy real estate. And how I'm able to do that is through showing I'm an expert, through creating content online about buying and selling real estate, what it's like living in the area, the market updates that we do every single month. So anyway, if you want more information on it, the strategy, we have a whole different video on that. You'll see the link up in the corner. Click on that one if you want to learn about my strategy. But I wanted to bring this video to you for those of you that are thinking about getting into real estate and are seeing, real estate agents driving nice cars and wearing nice clothes or fancy watches or whatever it might be, or selling Sunset. Like, I want to tell you that it's hard. It's not easy. There's going to be a lot of time, effort, commitment, and sacrifices that have to be made in order for you to be successful, because you're up against other people that are doing it as well, right? So you've got to go all in. If you need some help, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, we can help you at Video Marketing Coach, from editing to publishing to everything in between. If you need more information on that, you can find out all of our info on our website, videomarketingcoach.com, and you can schedule a call with me there if you so wish. But for now, I hope that this video was educational to you, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, really appreciate it if you do so. But for now, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again.